Janet is paid $12.60 per hour for the first 40 hours of a regular work week. Overtime is paid at time and a half. Calculate her earnings for a regular 40-hour work week. Now our goal is to determine her earnings for a regular 40-hour work week. And so we ask ourselves, how much is she paid per hour? Well, she's paid $12.60 per hour. And a regular a regular 40-hour work week contains 40 hours. And so in order for us to figure out her earnings for a regular 40-hour work week, we're going to take her hourly rate, how much she is paid per hour, and we're going to multiply it by the number of hours worked, which is going to be 40. So $12.60 multiplied by 40 is going to give us $504. And so that means that the correct answer for this question is $504. Next, the question states, calculate her earnings for 1 hour overtime. Notice that overtime is paid at time and a half. Now, when they say time and a half, that means that you have to multiply by 1.5. But if they had said double time, right? Double time, you're going to multiply the hourly rate by 2. But in this case, they said time and a half, so you're going to multiply the hourly rate, which is $12.60, by 1.5. And so we have 1.5 multiplied by $12.60, and that gives us $18.90. And so that means that our earnings for 1 hour of overtime is $18.90. Next, the question states, calculate our earnings for a 43-hour work week. In order for us to figure out her earnings for a 43-hour work week, the first thing that we will do is determine the number of overtime hours worked. Notice that a regular 40-hour work week contains 40 hours. And so that means if we want to figure out the number of overtime hours, we're going to take 43 and subtract that with 40. And so that means that she worked 3 hours in overtime. Next, we're going to calculate her overtime pay. Overtime pay is going to be the number of hours of overtime, which is 3 hours of overtime, multiplied by how much she's going to be paid per hour for overtime. So this is $18.90. And we use $18.90 because that's how much she is paid per hour for overtime. So 3, because it's 3 hours of overtime, and $18.90 because that's her hourly rate for overtime. And so we have 3 multiplied by $18.90, and that gives us $56.70. That's our overtime pay. Next, we want to figure out, next I have the heading here, earnings for a 43-hour week. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to add. So we're going to add the regular pay plus the overtime pay. What is a regular pay? Well, a regular pay is going to be $504 because that's for a 40-hour work week. And we're going to add that to our overtime pay. And our overtime pay is $56.70 that we just calculate. That's our overtime pay for a 43-hour work week. And so we add these two together, the regular pay plus the overtime pay. And so we get, when we add them together, we get $560.70. And so that means that her earnings for a 43-hour work week is $560.70.